Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, organics of all ages, I'm Double R, and let's talk about gravity. In this episode of Aeon Flux, or this short episode of Aeon Flux, there are two major lessons. Lesson one is, of course, don't do the flash if you can't do the basic. What this means is when you're trying to show off, like that, and there she goes, bye, later, have fun. When you do something like that, who are you showing off to? Why were you doing a flip? I get it, you want some practice. This is not the time for that practice.
This is not the time to be stupid.
But this also proves that she's not Mary Sue because, well, she cartwheeled right off the plane. And there she goes again. Sorry, just that scene kind of puts it out there. Main character. She rolled a 1 in her acrobatics and off she went. That's a fumble, ladies and gentlemen. If you play D&D and you want to show someone a 1 roll in acrobatics, there you go. It can't be any clearer. But don't do anything fancy if you cannot do the basic. You do the fancy stuff elsewhere. You do it in practice. You make sure you get it down. This happens a lot in video games where people want to finish off their opponent with a big move or a very specific way. This is one thing I can appreciate Mortal Kombat for, because they just tell you if you win or lose, and then you can do the fancy stuff after, which is great. That I'm with that. But everybody wants to do all these big combos and finish with something flashy, and they end up losing the match because they're so focused on trying to end it with one specific move that all the opponent has to do is avoid it. Kind of like my Ronda Rousey debate, where I said if you can learn to get away from the armbar or avoid the armbar, you beat her. And the first person who figured that out, they avoided the armbar, they beat her. Go figure. But that's the point. Don't worry about something flashy when the basics can get you through. That said, the second part of the lesson pops up as pay attention to your surroundings. Let me explain this one. The rest of the episode is Aeon falling to her inevitable doom. And as she's falling, she notices there's the Imperial truck. They notice something over the cliff. They went to go get it. So she's trying to use her binoculars to see what it is, what this big item is that they have ushered out to go gather, just to go get. Well, as she's watching it, she realizes, oh wait, there's a bridge. I can bat grapple over to it. I'll be fine. So she sets up a grapple hook, fires, boom, all good. Her line is ready. But there's a lot of slack in the line. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Now with all that slack, she goes back to looking through what's going on. And you'll notice at one point, she loses control of the binoculars. So she's flailing around and twisting to try to grab it. I want you to pay special attention to the rope when she does that. You notice something. Now I'm going to play this final scene right here. And if you don't catch it the first time, don't worry about it. We'll go back and we'll freeze in a very specific spot. And then we'll finish up with that. So here's the final scene. Okay. Now some of you are thinking, well, maybe her spine popped. It got ripped out or something because she messed up the line tether on her gear. Maybe she hit the post on the bridge. Maybe she hit that. No. Those probably could have happened. But let's go to let's go through the scene now. Stop it right about there. There it is, right there. Stopping it right there. Notice where the rope is at on her. Because of her prior flailing around, this flailing, the rope wound up right there. So the second it got taut, it snapped her neck. Which, yeah, as you can tell, I kind of flashed at a death counter up there. So now this is 4 out of 4 episodes where she died. Not looking good. Not looking good for that last episode, is it? But those are the 2 lessons in this episode. Lesson 1, don't worry about the Flash if the basics will be enough. There's a reason for this. Same thing happens in roleplay, same thing happens in fighting games, same thing happens in MOBAs, same thing happens in MMOs. Pretty much any game you come up to, any situation you come up to, people always try to use the big flashy things to end with style, to end with panache, or panache, or whatever you want to enunciate it as, to end amazingly. The problem is when you focus on such a thing, you lose sight of your surroundings. And when you lose sight of your surroundings, you F up.
You lose! Good day, sir!
And of course, the second lesson is that second half. Pay attention to your surroundings. Because it's something in your surroundings that will end you. Typically. Like I stated in War, at the very end of that episode, where the 2 soldiers are running down the hallway, a situation popped up, and they're not going to notice it. One's going to fall, and it's going to cause a problem, which will get them killed. This came up again in Leisure. She wasn't paying attention to her surroundings, ran right into a guard. Oops. But as you can tell, many of these lessons pop up time and time again, and they interlace with one another. So with that said, I'm going to leave y'all to it, and we got one more newer episode of Aeon Flux's shorts, and then we get the recap episode of all the lessons you've learned in this lovely series. Then we can work on Captain Power. Power! P-O-W-A! Power! And we'll start that with the first episode of Prelude, like I did with the Power Rangers, where I take the intro and the ending in this case, because they're going to be the same through the entire series, and I go into detail on those. Then we start with the episodes after that. So with that all being said, I'm Double R. I'm out. Y'all have a good time. And if you're role-playing, enjoy roleplay. If you're playing video games, enjoy your games. Later.